Hey guys, Gameboy3800 here once again, and I'm here to give you another top 5 list of computers for the channel. Now this list of computers is going to be legacy computers, and I don't mean like, necessarily old or, impactful computers in all of history, but impactful computers for the channel. Over the 7 years of YouTube, you get to see a lot of stuff. And early on, computers were my thing. And so having many years of computer experience, I've had quite a few that have had some noticeable impact or some good times with. And number 5 on this list is going to be a Toshiba Satellite A70 series laptop. This was the first computer that I featured in a video to get pretty popular. I think over 10,000 views fairly quickly, and it's still one of my more viewed videos even today. This was my old school teacher's computer. He gave it to me as a gift when he left because I had a lot of interest for it. I was wondering why it was so big and old in a computer with quad-core processors that had quad-core AMD Phenoms everywhere. So yeah, I was wondering why that thing still existed, why he was still using it, and why it was even still alive. I thought they just disintegrated them when they were, no longer needed. And that seemed to get me into older computers, to which I would soon start collecting and making videos for. The Toshiba Satellite A70 was also super easy to take apart, and it kind of got me into fixing, repairing, and building computers as a hobby. So that's part of the reason why you see me on YouTube still today. The specs for this old machine was a Pentium 4 HT desktop processor at 3.06 GHz. It only supported a maximum of 1.25 gigabytes of RAM, which really hurt it. It had 256 megs on board, and only a single DDR1 memory slot. I would love to have put 2.25 gigs in it, but I do not believe a 2 gig stick of DDR1 laptop memory exists, so yep, can't do that. It had a 160 gig hard drive, and I hacked Windows 7 Ultimate onto it. Spoilers, it didn't do too well. Number 4 on this list is going to be my old Dell Vostro 1700 laptop. This is it was my main laptop for my first 3 years on YouTube before I got my Alienware M14 XR1. The Vostro was given to me by my dad when his company gave him a MacBook Air. Although not advertised as a gaming laptop, the Vostro still had an 8600 MGT video card in it, so I could play some older and easier titles to run, which I guess got me into PC gaming, kind of. I learned how to make videos on it with good old Movie Maker, so that's something. This machine specs are a Core 2 Duo at 1.8 GHz, an 8600 MGT graphics card, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 120 gig hard drive with Windows 7 x86. I still have this computer. It's up on the shelf. It still does turn on, but the battery is shot. And I do need a new 8600 MGT in it. Alright, number 3 on this list is going to be a old AMD system I built up. I didn't give it a name. It was my first real custom computer. I originally built it up as a friend, but then he decided to go ahead and build a computer on his own. So I was left with this, so I decided to take it and, make it my main rig. It was pretty good. Being the first desktop I built up, it was janky AF and, not very well organized, but it worked. And it still does work. I gave it to my brother as a gift one Christmas, and we still have it in the house, and I do occasionally need to clean it from time to time. I learned how to overclock an AMD system on it. I got it to 4.7 gigahertz using an H50 liquid cooler from Corsair, I think. Yep. So the specs are an AMD FX 6300 at 4.7 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, a GTX 650 graphics card, and my brother added about 5 terabytes of extra storage. And it's got Windows 10, at 64-bit now. Moving on to number 2 is the Alienware Aurora Mal X, one of the first old Alienware machines, and it was the first, or one of the first laptops that I bid on and won. So that's pretty cool. I got it on eBay. It was also the first computer I ever did a review for, which is something I still do today. After a project is done, a computer or a laptop is received, fixed, repaired, or worked on in some way, I do a video for it. A video review. And they seem to be fairly popular. I still do them sometimes whenever I get a new machine. The Alienware machine was gigantic. It had a 19-inch screen and weighed well over 10 pounds. And up until the announcement of Acer's 21-inch Predator curved screen laptop, this was the largest laptop with a traditional screen hinge. What I mean by that is that the screen connects at the base of the laptop with 2 standard hinges, opens and closes just like any normal laptop. Sure, the Dell XPS M 2010 and HP HDX 9000 Dragon computer both had a larger screen, but they were on a dual hinge system, so not quite a normal laptop. Also, it was the first laptop to have dual video cards. My unit had a dual 7900 GTX cards, and it was pretty good for the time. The issue with mine is that the BIOS kept dying. The battery died, and I believe it was soldered to the board, or I was never able to fully open up the computer and find the battery to replace it. And that would mean it would almost never start up normally, and then I was stupid and threw Windows 8 onto it to see how it would run. And, spoiler alert, not too well. It also had a single core AMD processor, and that really holds it back. There does exist a dual core version though, but it's super rare, and I would love to get my hands on one. The specs for the old MALX was an AMD Turon ML44 at 2.4 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM, dual 7900 GTX video cards, a 180 gig hard drive with Windows at 8, 64-bit, I think. No, it was probably 32-bit because single core. And finally, to no surprise, Project Bolide is number 1. It was my first super expensive and longest lasting project that I've ever done. It originally started as a Core i7 4790K based machine, with plans to have a power-color Devil 13 290X dual-core as the main GPU. The motherboard died on me early on, so I got an X99 board and an i7-5960X, and eventually got dual Galax GTX 980 Hall of Fame cards to throw in it, along with a white NGXT case later on. This theme would remain even today. I wanted to get later on I wanted to get an 18-core Xeon chip in it, because I saw Linus do a video on it, and I really wanted one. So I ripped the CPU and GPUs from it and sold them off right away, but soon realized that I was never going to make up $4,000, so I rebought a 5820K, and I went through several video cards from one 960 to dual 960s. I sold those eventually and put in dual GTX 275s of all things. Or maybe it was the other way around, I forget. But it eventually settled on having dual Galax 980 Ti Hall of Fame LN2 limited edition cards. And after swapping to a larger Phantom case and adding a better radiator to the cooling setup, the project was upgraded to Project Supremacy, thus ending the Project Bolide. I still have the old case. It's up at the top of a shelf, and I could reuse it. it still has all the old stickers still on it too. The specs of this machine currently, as Project Supremacy, set at an i7 5820K, and that's overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz. I recently upgraded it to 64 gigs of RAM. It still has the dual 980 Hall of Fame, or dual 980 Ti Hall of Fame limited edition graphics cards, and also about 10 terabytes of storage, all on Windows 7 64-bit. And that's it. This video is mainly just to get it out there that I have some favorite machines, but that doesn't mean they made a good big impact. Like the Alienware Aurora 51 from 2009. Great machine when I had it, but it didn't last long, and other computers have since taken the spotlight. Oh well, that's going to be it for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please go ahead and leave a like, favorite, comment, share, and of course don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks, Game Boy out. I will see you in the future.